So Aon started this collaboration journey really under the notion of knowledge sharing, which that strategy is honed around 4 pillars. We call it the 4 C's. The first C is the colleagues. So we're in business of, we're advisors. So we're advisors in risk and people business. So if you think about our priorities, how colleagues connect with expertise is really our number 1 priority. So our first C is colleagues. Our second C is content. So we are an organization of 400 acquisitions over 20 years, 80,000 colleagues in 120 countries, 500 offices. So it's really important for us to provide colleagues with key content that they need to sell and deliver to our clients in a very easy to find way. So content is our second pillar. Third is collaboration, which obviously with the rise of social and consumer technologies, how can colleagues, in a very social way, kind of connect with the like-minded topics with colleagues from around the globe. So we have a social learning, social collaboration priority. That's our 4th C. And then third C, and our 4th C is communications. So if you think about communications, there's a lot of communications that go on, looking at the vastness of Aon. How can we target the most relevant communications to colleagues based on their business, based on their geography, and really connect them to Aon more broadly is our priority. And then the 5th C is really our culture. So this entire knowledge sharing is really our big 5th, the 5th C, which is really where Greg, our CEO, is taking the organization under the strategy of Aon United. So how do we really unite the firm? So when we think about collaboration, we have brought the 4 C's that I just talked about in a very personalized portal to colleagues around the globe. So for first time in Aon's history, we actually have single image on every colleague's desktop with access to all information across the BUs, across the geographies, searchable, tagged, available to any colleague. So we've really brought down the BU walls, the geographic walls, the divisional walls. It's really one for all. It's really Aon United at your fingertips. So I think collaboration decisions, I'll just speak of our experiences, and I genuinely believe in that. I think our philosophy is everything we do is a business priority. And it's a partnership. So all the decisions we've made around our strategy, they're really made by across BU Forum in partnership with technology. So in let's take knowledge sharing, where I am the lead business sponsor. Of course, I have a steering committee which really guides our strategy and guides me. So there are no decisions that we've said, that technology has kind of said, well, these are the decisions. It's a tight partnership where we see our requirements are X, and we really listen to technology and saying, given these requirements, given these priorities, Y is the best solution. So, it's a partnership. And it's so seamless that it's hard to say who really should make that decision. But I think partnership is the word to underline here. I think user adoption in all of our cases, whether it's knowledge sharing or our broader ASC agenda, it really helps when you are driving change, because all these things are large changes, whether you take a new internet, content, profiles, or a new operating model for finance or HR. When the change is happening because either a broader operating model is changing or it's really a key priority for the organization, we're not really putting change in for sake of change, right? We can clearly see the ROI. And I'll give you a few examples. So in case of knowledge sharing, the driver was, how can we collaborate more to drive engagement, right? So in 2010, Aon did an engagement survey where our colleagues said they wanted more knowledge sharing and collaboration. And this was something that was championed by our CEO and supported by our CHRO then, Greg Basayo. So really, Greg Case and Greg Basayo really sponsored it and championed it. So it was, I used to say we got funded by the fund of Greg Case and Greg Basayo. But putting that aside, it met an organizational need for where the vision for the firm was to really unite the firm. So technology, the strategy just became an enabler. So it's not like we were writing heavy CBAs. As you know, it's very hard to write where's the hard dollar savings on something like this. But really the upside of moving the culture, moving the firm forward is invaluable to us, right? So it's really, so I would say it's staying in sync with strategy. Second is we really had a lot of folks, so our leadership really, leaders were teachers, right? So they mimic the behaviors. So for example, when we launched profiles, I mean, it seems like in 2016, every company should have a profile for their every employee, right? Well, we didn't quite have them in 2010. We do today. It really started with Greg and the EC leading and saying, this is what good profile looks like. And every opportunity he had to talk to the leadership, we named and shamed, we championed, you know, it really, and then it was a cascade effect. And that was invaluable to us. I think collaboration is key to innovation. If, especially for, you know, people are the biggest asset I think any organization has. More people collaborate at every level, more they share, more they discuss, new ideas come up. So I just think it's key to igniting growth and innovation in any organization, right? And the second reason I would say is, you know, technology is changing the way the world's going to operate, the business is going to operate, right? Take the Gartner stat, I won't have the exact numbers, but they say 80% of the businesses in the next decade will be technology-driven businesses, right? You're going to have small operating models that are truly niche. So if you just think about, you know, the consumerization, the, you know, how we are collaborating in our personal lives, I think the corporate life is a little bit behind, maybe a decade behind. And as the millennials come into the work pool, right? This is key because this is how they know how to operate. So while, you know, a decade ago collaboration, talking about tools like Yammer or Jive or, you know, was sort of a thing of the, oh my God, you're really on the bleeding edge. You know, today I think about, you know, when we have new joiners, like we just had new joiners, interns in our organization, I sit there and talk about like, we made this great progress. And they just look at me like, well, this is just table stakes. You know, this is just a given. We expect that. So I think the dynamics are going to shift really fast. They've already shifted. So it's really important for us to think about as organizations, right? How can you collaborate and how can you really unite, you know, colleagues in a really horizontal, non-hierarchical way and really unleash innovation is going to be key for success for any organization.
Brilliant, thank you.